Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk, episode 109. You are joined today by myself, George, alongside Tyler and Seth. Cam cannot join this episode, which I'm sad about because I would love to hear him scream about Joker 2 for 2 hours straight. But you got Tyler, you got Seth, and you got myself. We got a pretty good episode for you guys today. Like I said, we're going to run through Joker 2, spoiler-free, plus some spoiler thoughts. We got a good chunk of news, and as I was going through this news today in this rundown, I was like, this is good, like chat-worthy news. Sometimes we have news where we just kind of rattle off the news and don't talk about it, but this is good news this time. And then if we have time, depending on kind of how long our Joker 2 review goes, we're going to swap in a best comic book superhero movie castings draft, I guess in honor of Joker. I know a lot of people rank Joaquin Phoenix as Joker very differently. Some people have him closer to the top of the Lair list of favorite Jokers. Some people, like our good friend Alex Coleman, have him at the bottom of their list of favorite Jokers. So we're going to have some fun little best comic book superhero movie casting. As always, shout out to our amazing executive producers, Mr. Sean Morales, Mr. Stefan Johnson, and Stefan Niebrick. Shout out to all of our patrons. Let's just get right into it, gentlemen. How are we doing? What have we been watching? Tyler, Mr. Travel lately? We'll start with you.
Yep. Just got back last night around midnight from Detroit. Travel, there's been 5 weeks in a row now of flying somewhere. This upcoming week, I'm not traveling, which is nice, but I bet from now till the new year, so last 3 months of the year, probably will have 2 or 3 weeks of no travel, and we'll probably have like 8 to 10 weeks of travel. So crazy. I joined Delta's like rewards program because I was American Airlines. I joined Delta's rewards program in June, so and it goes like calendar year, and I'm already up to gold, and I might be able to get to platinum by the end of the year. So I've just climbed the ranks real fast, which is nice because you get the upgrades and get to go first class and all that kind of fun stuff. But travel's been hectic. Crazy woman on my plane last night was like, I don't know what was wrong with her knee or leg or something, but she was like in crutches. But when she was on the plane, she had to go to the bathroom. So she was going up to the bathroom in the front. And she was like using everyone's seat as like a crutch or whatever to move forward, which was fine or whatever. She has a broken leg or whatever. She's kind of using that to move forward. But then when she got out of the bathroom to go back to her seat, fully sits on the floor and scoots all the way back, an airplane floor. And I'm like, that's disgusting. One of the most disgusting places. They just scooting on her hands. I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, why? Why didn't she just?
Because she had her leg was hurt or something. I don't know why she didn't just crutch her way back or whatever. I think she felt like a nuisance to be on the plane. She's like, oh, I'm just gonna slide back on the floor to get back in the seat quicker. I was like,
that's probably more of a nuisance.
Yeah, I was like, this is insane. That's airplane floors got to be one of the most filthy places gross. You could everyone's luggage has just been rolling up and down that this whole time.
Yeah.
Gross. But Detroit. Oh yeah. So you've seen Barbarian, right?
Yeah.
So you know how that's an Airbnb in Detroit, I believe is a setting. Yeah. And when I was leaving work on Thursday to go to the airport, it was rush hour at night, and there was some accident on the highway, so it took me back roads down there, which everyone knows Detroit, and everyone has a certain idea in their head of what you think of what Detroit is when you hear the city. And I don't have to spell it out for anyone. So I was driving down, and it took me down back roads, and I literally drove down, I think where basically they filmed Barbarian, but it was the most insane thing I've ever seen. It was neighborhoods and neighborhoods of abandoned houses that were just falling apart, fenced in, boarded up. But it wasn't just a couple. It was I was this is depressing to see. There's just a whole 200 houses that are just abandoned, torn down, and surrounding it is all kinds of gas stations, restaurants that are all just abandoned, torn down. There's a good 10-minute drive, just a ghost town of where once used to be a thriving city that is now just completely decrepit wasteland, something you'd see in The Last of Us or something. This is wild. If anyone is familiar with the area, I think it's Van Dyke Road, I believe, is what I was driving down the whole time. And it looked like the Barbarian stuff, where every house just seemed like a haunted house. And I was like, this is just kind of sad, honestly. But yeah, Detroit was fine. And yeah, I'll be having more travels, but my movie watching has been suffering a ton lately. I've not watched a lot this week. All I really got to was, let's see, when the last time we talked? Yeah, I mean, we talked Megalopolis last time, Wolves last time. So really all I watched since is Trap. Riley and I watched Trap together. I loved it. Obviously, I still give it a 5, and Riley gave it a 4.5. I believe she really liked it. And I was kind of thinking she wouldn't. So she loved it. And then Joker 2, obviously, which we'll talk about. And then last night on my flight home, I rewatched Casino Royale. But to be honest, was like 50% sleeping, and just like that was just kind of what I threw on. But I mean, great movie, obviously, because like I've seen it many times. But yeah,
best Bond film.
It's been so long since I've seen like any Bond film period, but I stole from my dad's house like a collection of all the, I think, Sean Connery Bond films, and what's his name, the guy from Eurovision, which is hilarious. I'm saying that's what he's from.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, all the Pierce Brosnan films.
But at least say Mamma Mia. Don't throw out Eurovision like that.
Nah, man, you gotta support when you can. But yeah, I'm like sick again too, just because like I was sick last week, and the pod was a struggle last week. It's way better this week, but last week I was like dying on the pod. I think I got like health regen bar, got back up to like 80%, and then like traveling, because I took the red eye to Detroit, and then immediately from the airport drove to my work and like worked the whole day. So my health bar is back down to like 30%. So I'm gonna record this and probably just pass out, to be honest, for the rest of the day. But yeah,
smart. Nice. Very nice. I was going to say, all this traveling, you got to be so beat right now, man.
Yeah, it's always so far away from where I live in Phoenix, too, because I'm tucked away in the Southwest. I'm always flying to like Pennsylvania or...
Wait, also, did I see your text? Are you actually coming to New York, or was that a joke?
New Jersey. But yeah, I'll be in New Jersey the 2 days before Halloween.
Where in New Jersey?
It's a city I don't really know, but it's like right by the border of Pennsylvania. But I thought I saw on Google Maps it was like an hour to get to the city, I think. So
okay.
So doable.
Well, I'm here if you want to come hang.
Yeah, there's plenty of folks. I was getting such FOMO seeing you guys all at New York Film Festival. It looked like such a grand old time seeing you and all the looks like a movie boys. And I'm surprised Alex Coleman didn't go. Is it too highbrow for him?
I don't know. I mean, that's even Victoria asked, like, is Alex coming for any screenings? And I was like, honestly, no. And she was like, why? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know why he didn't. Like I mean, listen, understandably so. The pass is expensive, and he's fresh out of college, so he can't. I don't know how much he can swing, like whatever we paid for that pass. And then by the time general admission comes out, like even me, so I did my pass when I was able to reserve screenings with the pass I got. Queer, the Luca Guadagnino film, was not available, so I had to wait until the general tickets came out. And by the time the general tickets came out, and by the time I got off the queue, like, because you have to wait in line, they were all sold out. So like, it's such a bitch to get like tickets to this thing, like individual screenings, if you don't do one of the passes. So like, understandable if he didn't want to, like, I don't know, waste his time waiting in queue just to not get tickets, but would have been nice. But yeah, it looks like a movie boys came, which was a lot of fun. Absolute sweethearts, man. They're so much fun. Kevin, I mean, K Meeks and Owen I had met before. They had came to the city.
You went bowling, right?
Yeah, we went bowling for Sophie's birthday last March. So I had met them. They're both sweethearts. Owen is so quiet considering how expressive and loud he is on social media, and it's just adorable. And then Kevin is just like the sweetest, just the coolest, easiest dude to talk to. And then Doug, man, Doug is hilarious. Doug is just like randomly dancing, so much energy. We were on Sophie's rooftop hanging out after the movies last Saturday, and this kid's like, he's looking up at the sky and he's like marveling at the purples and the grays and he's like, it's beautiful. And I'm like, dude, you're hilarious. Like, he's so funny. But they're great. It's we're recording this on Friday, so Doug is already back in Omaha. We saw Owen and Kevin yesterday for Joker. We're gonna, I think I could be wrong, but I think Kevin has our same schedule tomorrow. So I'll see Kevin tomorrow, and I'm sure. I don't know about Owen's schedule. So, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun seeing them.
Did you get tickets for Queer?
I did not get tickets for Queer. Neither screen.
Kind of deserved, honestly.
I mean,
you were very mean to Luca and our Luca special.
You're right. I'm happy that someone who probably is excited for this movie is going to get to watch it instead of me. But also, I'm gonna be away that day anyways, so I wouldn't be able to see it anyways. Seth, how you doing, man? Is your mic working now? I see you texted us.
Pause.
It's my working. I hear you. No, I hear you. We hear you.
No, but it's not through my mic though.
Yeah, that is true. It's your camera. So try and switch it.
I can't. It won't let.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't sound that bad though. Like this, if this is what you have to do, then I think it's fine.
Let me just Can you just yap for a couple minutes? I'm just gonna restart.
I'll continue my yap about the film fest.
I mean, tell us like kind of your brief thoughts on like some of the movies you saw. Like, what have been the highlights and the lowlights and the midlights?
So the pass Sophie and I got is 11 movies. We get tickets to opening night plus 10 movies. So the opening night movie was Nickel Boys. I don't want to go too in depth on any of these movies, so I'll keep it very vague. This movie is heavy. It deals with very heavy subject matters. It's filmed in first person point of view. And I was even telling like Sophie and the Looks Like a Movie boys after this movie, first person point of view is a big reason why I don't play video games. I hate it. I dislike it. It is so nauseating. It is so, and Doug actually made a funny comment after the movie. He's like, dude, you see, like you live life in first person point of view. And I'm like, I know, but like, it's so different in film. I don't know how to explain it. So that didn't necessarily work for me. So I didn't really like Nickel Boys. I also think first person point of view, like the actors just aren't interacting organically. It feels very robotic. It feels very choppy. Like they're trying to act to a camera and it's weird. Like they're not face to face. They're not person to person. It's very weird. It was very, I don't know, that it was a poor theater experience to start my film festival. I will say I'm on the complete minority in this movie. Everyone that I am mutuals with on Letterboxd has given it 4, 5, 4.5, a couple of 3 stars mixed in there. So I'm on the minority, but it's the first person point of view. I respect the narrative, and it's like it's tough to criticize a movie this heavy, but I just can't get over that stylistic decision to do it in first person point of view. Then we had a fun day. We had The Brutalist and Anora back to back. The Brutalist, epic movie, man. Just 3.5 hours, 15-minute intermission. So much to digest on first watch. I would love to watch it again, and I do think on second watch my rating would go up. But I will say again, I'm in the minority on giving this a 3.5. Everyone's giving this 4.5 and 5. The movie, and I'll even say this about Anora, I'm not connecting with them as like aggressively as I think everyone else is on like an emotional level, or whatever. Like The Brutalist and Anora, I watched the movies. I've kind of forgotten about them since. Like I haven't really thought about them. Like I've been thinking about fucking Megalopolis since the day I saw it, and I did not even like that movie. But The Brutalist and Anora, I think they're great movies. I think Sean Baker and Jesus Christ, Brady Corbett are doing great things. Sean Baker's fantastic. I need to dive more deep into his filmography. I've only ever seen The Florida Project, which I obviously love. But I have my gripes with Anora, which I would love to talk to you guys about. So again, I'm not going to get into spoilers. But good movie, for sure. A good movie. I've never been shit on more for positively rating 2 movies. Like I gave Brutalist and Anora positive ratings, and I'm still getting pooped on. So Letterboxd brain rot is a real thing. We watched a documentary, No Other Land, the first documentary I've seen at the film festival. I didn't watch one last year. Fantastic. Really, really fantastic. It was made by a Palestinian and an Israeli, and it is a documentary that shows the destruction of the West Bank's Masafer Yatta. Really powerful, really raw. They don't hold back in what they want to show you. It is not an easy watch, but it is an important watch. It is a powerful watch. And yeah, fantastic. I obviously am going to highly recommend that. I haven't seen a lot of documentaries this year. I've actually only seen 2, and that's probably the best. Then we watched Maria, Pablo Larraín's, I guess, trilogy ending biopic. He did Jackie, and then he did Spencer. So now he's doing Maria, about Maria Callas, the great Greek opera singer. And my sentiment kind of rings true for Jackie and Spencer, even though I like those movies. I would never say I love those movies. I don't love his particular style of biopic filmmaking. I will say, though, of all the films I've seen at the film festival so far, Maria is the one that has not left my mind. I have not stopped thinking about Angelina Jolie. I think she's my Oscar frontrunner right now. She is fucking mesmerizing. I have not stopped thinking about certain conversations. Maria in the movie has conversations with her lover, with John F. Kennedy, with her butler and her maid, and they're so raw, they're so powerful. I just haven't stopped thinking about certain line drops. I originally gave the movie a 3. I've raised it to a 3.5 since, and just the more I think about it, the more I think I'm going to raise it to a 4. It is beautiful looking. It is so, I guess, introspective. It is so beautiful, and I'm telling you, man, everyone I think is going to be on the Mikey Madison train for Best Actress, and I think she's absolutely deserving. I think she's my number 2 right now. But Angelina Jolie in Maria, I think, is just stunning. I think she is fantastic. I obviously know she had this in her. She's an Oscar winner already for Girl Interrupted. But she's on another level in Maria. She is fucking fantastic. Then we saw the last movie I saw at the film festival before tomorrow, where we have 3 features, was Emilia Perez, the Carlos Sofia Gascon, Zoe Saldana, Selena Gomez movie. That shit sucked. That was so fucking trash. It's a musical that's somehow worse than Joker 2. It's just like, I said this in my Letterboxd review, it is so obnoxiously on the nose in its themes and its commentary. Jacques Audiard, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, the filmmaker, he has zero confidence in his audience. He has to hold our hand the entire time, and it just makes for such a painstakingly annoying experience. The musical numbers were garbage. We're touching on violence and the drug cartel and redemption, and it's so shitty and elementary. And again, it's a tough movie to like be this openly critical of, because it also has commentary on transgender lifestyles, transitioning, but just every aspect of this movie is just so grossly shallow. The day after I watched this movie, I was reading about like Oscar, just like Best Picture predictions, Best Actor, Best Actress, and I was stunned to see Emilia Perez on any list. Apparently, it's the front runner for the SAG's Ensemble Casting Award, which is just insane. Insane. Like, this movie, I replied to someone's tweet saying, like, it's disgraceful that a movie this bad can make it into a film festival. Like, I think that just ruins the prestige of film festivals. Like, the selection committee, they need to do better. This is so bad, it's unbelievable. But that's it so far on the film festival. I have, and also technically Megalopolis was a film festival movie. So Megalopolis was the opening fest movie. Tomorrow I'm seeing Oh Canada, A Real Pain, and David Cronenberg's The Shrouds, which I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm very excited for The Shrouds. That was probably one of my more anticipated films of the festival, along with Honora and No Other Land coming in. And then the final movie I watch, I believe, is on Tuesday, and that is Miguel Gomez's Grand Tour. So 4 more movies, very excited. I'm still going to try and I'm still going to try for tickets to see Blitz and Queer. I don't think I'll get them, and there's just no way I wait on like the standby line. But yeah, that's been the film festival. It's been awesome. It's been a ton of fun. Just like last year, it's just such a vibe. Like, it's just good vibes. It's like, it's the fall in New York City, so the weather is so like nice and brisk. Although we did have a rainy day, which kind of put a dampener on it, but it's fun. I'm happy. The Looks Like a Movie Pod boys came in. So it was nice seeing them. It was nice hanging out with them and chatting with them. But yeah, that's been the film festival. Other than that, I've been like kind of grinding at work lately because like I don't want to have to focus on too much like heading into like November and December of the end of the year. So I'm trying to like really like crank out a lot of work in October if I can. So work's been busy, no surprise there, but like I always say, it's a good busy. It's not like annoying busy where I like hate what I'm doing. It's a good busy where I can like really like take time, sit back and just focus on like building my team. When did I talk on the pod last? I think it was Megalopolis on 2 weeks ago. So other than Film Fest, I ticked off a couple of Coppolas. I keep saying Coppola and people keep like shitting on me. Is it Coppola? No, either way.
I've heard people say it different ways, but I get less shit when I say Coppola. So even if that isn't right, I just say Coppola.
Yeah, I'll say Coppola. Yeah. But yeah, I watched The Outsiders, which was great. I really enjoyed The Outsiders. And then I watched The Conversation, which was fantastic. I really, really liked The Conversation. I said this in my review. Francis Ford Coppola in 1974, insane. The Conversation and Godfather Part 2, that's crazy. I've been ticking off some Harry Potters, so I watched. I think I mentioned this last time I was on the pod, but I'm just going out of order. So I watched Deathly Hallows Part 1 like 2 weeks ago. And then 2 nights ago, I watched Goblet of Fire. So I'm kind of just going out of order. Saturday Night. I watched Saturday Night. I don't think anyone else here has seen Saturday Night. I really liked it. I thought it was a really great time. I didn't know going into Saturday Night. So Saturday Night is the movie about Saturday Night Live. So I thought it was going to be like a more, I guess, longer form biopic. But it takes place in the 90 minutes before the first episode. Like, that's it. So that kind of caught me off guard, but I ended up really liking it. It was really fast paced. It was really chaotic. And it was just, I don't know, it was just like an hour and a half anxiety attack trying to get this episode of Saturday Night going. Gabriel LaBelle, he's fantastic. I loved him in Saturday Night. I love him in The Fabelmans. I still haven't seen Snack Shack, and everyone says he's fantastic in that as well, but he really is such a rising star. Very excited to see where his career goes. I watched The Wild Robot 2-3 days ago. I think I watched the ReelTok episode last week, obviously, and I was listening to Cam's thoughts, and I think I agree with his sentiment. I think this movie is gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. It's really beautiful mother-son relationship vibes. But like Cam said, I don't think I found myself attached to these characters as much as I would have liked. Like, I have no real gripes with this movie. Like, I gave it a 3.5, and someone commented on my Letterboxd review, like, why, like, I would love to hear your critiques. Why is this only a 3.5? And my response was, honestly, I don't have negative critiques of the movie. Like, I thought the movie was great. Loved the animation. I think the composition was beautiful. I love the mother-son dynamic. I just don't think the movie took like any risks. Like, it was a very like just cookie cutter, very basic story. Which again, not a bad thing. Like, the movie made me tear up twice. So I thought it was fantastic. Had a really good time with Wild Robot. And then Carlito's Way, which we will do for our patron review, and then Joker, which we'll talk about in like 20 minutes. But yeah, that's my bad for ranting for a while, but that's been the film festival. Ton of fun, and I'll have updates for you guys next week with the remaining 4 movies. And then I'm sure if everyone keeps an eye out on my TikTok, I'll post like a ranking and a quick quick synopsis or quick thoughts on all my on all of my Film Fest films. But that's it from me. Seth, how are we doing?
Good. Still here at my mum's because we haven't got it fixed yet, which is annoying. I think I'm going to be staying here until we move, which is a bit irritating, to be honest, because it just makes the whole moving thing a bit more of a chaotic process. But that's great. Film festival going in. What's the date now?
Oh yeah, what are you seeing, by the way? Did you ever post your lineup?
Yeah. I've got it on Letterboxd. I'm seeing Anora. Okay. I'm seeing Queer. I'm seeing We Live in Time. I'm seeing Bird. I'm seeing A Real Pain. I'm seeing Blitz. The Room Next Door. Night Bitch. The End. Nickel Boys and Hard Truths. And I also have the they do a surprise film here. So it could be whatever. I think it might be The Shrouds. Last year it was Ferrari. So it's it tends to be a pretty big one, a pretty decent sized one. I'm glad I got tickets to the main ones I wanted to see were Queer and Anora, and they were kind of the Blitz, because Blitz looks really, really good. So
you're gonna love The Brutalist.
I'm not going to see The Brutalist.
Oh, did you not just say The Brutalist? What am I?
No, we haven't got. We
my bad.
I don't know why. It's kind of confusing because we usually last year we got I think it was the same ones as New York. Virtually. We haven't got The Brutalist. I'm not sure why. We don't actually get that until January here or something, or end of December, I think. It's a little bit annoying, but Queer and Aura and Blitz, they're kind of three that I think could be great. And then We Live in Time. Did you get We Live in Time?
No, we don't.
Okay, that looks good. I'm pretty excited for that as well.
Yeah,
and also even the one you're going A Real Pain's got some really good reviews as well. I'm pretty looking forward to that.
I'm curious. I haven't seen his. I need to watch his debut before I go into A Real Pain.
I haven't seen his debut.
It's the one with what's his name? Stranger Things boy.
Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
It's got pretty good reviews. It's a 3.8. I've seen that. You know that Joshua Oppenheimer, The End, that kind of musical with Tilda Swinton as well. Okay. I think it's a musical. That's meant to be crazy polarizing so far. So I'll be interested in. But yeah, going on the 14th, so 10 days should be cool. Got a week's worth. I'm gonna be seeing a bunch of shit, so that'll be nice. What have I watched this week? I haven't watched that too much this week, to be fair. I've watched George, did you ever watch The Woman in Black?
Is that the Daniel Radcliffe one? Yeah. I dude, such weird memories of that movie because I remember watching it at home, I think once, maybe I very vaguely remember watching the movie and it scaring the shit out of me because I watched it when I was 8 or 9, maybe.
No.
But no, I have not watched it since.
You were 14 when it came out, 15, I think.
When did it come out? 2009?
Oh. Yes, it's not as old as you think, to be honest. It was the year
I'm thinking of the wrong movie.
It was his first big role. No, you think of the right one because it was his first big role post Harry Potter.
Post Harry Potter. Yeah, I think I am thinking of the right movie.
Yeah, no, you are. I really liked it. It's a really interesting one. I rewatched Joker, which is fun. I was trying to do Hooptober. I set up a whole thing for it this month. But then I realized I'm going away. I'm going away for a week. I'm going away for a week at the end of October. And I've got the film festival a week before that. I have 2 weeks at home.
I didn't realize that there were rules to Hooptober, and I was reading through the rules and I was like, dude, I cannot commit to this. I don't know when I'm working late at night. I don't know when I'm going to be able to watch movies this consistently. I can't do that.
Yeah, I've seen 2 of them so far. And that was the easiest one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one. And
goated.
Yeah, The Stuff as well, which is interesting, a horror comedy from the 80s. I don't know. I'll probably try and do half at least. Yeah, no, other than that, watched Joker 2 today, which we'll speak about. And that's kind of it. That's kind of it today, this week.
All right, sweet. Yeah, I'm excited. Are you staying in London, or you're not going back and forth, right?
No. Yeah, we've got an apartment for a week. Well, for one of the days, my cousin lives in central, near central anyway, not central, but accessible. So we're staying there for a night, and then we've got an apartment for a week. Going with
who's
a few.
You and Anna, or you and Film Talk guys?
Oh no, so me and 3 Film Talk guys from England, and then Remy, who's in our Discord, who I met for it, who I saw a few films with last year as well. So there's like 5 of us, but there's like it's one of those things where there's like everyone's going to it. Like I know so many people who've got tickets because obviously London Film Festival is like huge here, especially.
Yeah.
We get all the big things, so yeah, it should be good. It's like you said, like it's just a week of seeing loads of fucking people and doing some shit, and then so staying there. I would not come back and forth. That'd be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jesus, that would have been such hell, man.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's get into the big review of the week. One of our most anticipated films of the year, Joker 2. Joker 2, Folie à Deux. Maybe the first. No, I would be wrong in that sentiment. Forget it. But all right, let's. I was gonna say maybe the first big release in ReelTok history where we did not combine for at least a 5 stars, but I think I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
3
of us combined for 5
depends
stars.
on what you combine. Depends on what you define big release.
Yeah, true. That too. Because like obviously fucking Jeff Profit's movies, we're not combining for a 5.
Well, those are not big releases.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, while struggling with his dual identity, Arthur Fleck not only stumbles upon true love, but also finds the music that's always been inside of him. We'll start spoiler free. And then we'll move into spoilers as much as we can. Seth, you were the most recent. You just watched it literally like 4 hours ago. So we'll start with you while the thoughts are fresh in your head. What were your thoughts on Joker Folie à Deux?
Joker Folie à Deux, more like Joker Folie à Poo. I don't know. I was fucking shit. I don't know, man. There's a lot of issues I have with this film. I mean, and this is the biggest thing for me, right? Joker, the first one, whether you like it or you don't, whether you love it like George or like middling on it like me or like hate it like some people, I think there's things that can come out of it. There's more positives than this in that creates more conversation. There's more to talk about, you know? I think this is first of all, a very timid and like cowardly effort of a musical. It is a musical. The music notes, push the narrative forward. You know, it's a musical in which all of the musical beats are completely out of place and it kind of just jumps here to here. And I think I said this in my review, like torpedoes itself into like just nothingness, you know, the more time goes on within this film. You have a narrative that I don't think needed to be focused on, in that you're looking at kind of mental consequences of imprisonment and cruelty, and then again society as we saw it in the first, but in a different way. And then also you've got Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn's character coming in, and illusions, and you know this whole kind of essentially evolves into a courtroom drama, which is not exactly what I expected going in. But regardless of the fact that I think that a lot of the commentary tackled in this is really, really juvenile and has nothing of note or any moral code to say, I think the biggest issue with Joker 2 isn't even that. I think the biggest issue is that it's fucking boring. It's really, really dull and has nothing going for it. Like even Joker 1, which I don't love, I'll watch it and I'll be like, okay, that was a cool moment, you know. This for me is just utterly uninspired. Screams didn't need to happen in the first place. I kind of almost like the fact that he just like did take a bit of a swing in place, almost sabotaging his previous film, or actually sabotaging his previous film. And I kind of like that because that's kind of cool. But it's also stupid. And it's a stupid decision because this film is devoid of anything interesting. Minus a few. I don't mind. I think Joaquin Phoenix is actually better in the first one than this. I don't mind Lady Gaga. I think she's pretty cool. Brendan Gleeson, cool. But there's some cool people in this, and I think the score as well in both films. The score is the best part about both films for me. I think the score is great. I just think it's kind of a car crash that goes into just nothing throughout, and it has nothing to say other than being this kind of self-sabotage thing about this big swing. Okay, whatever, but nothing works within it. Yeah, so I give it a 1.5. I think the biggest issue is not the fact that I think it's shallow. I think the biggest issue is that it doesn't work as kind of this like, oh, look at me, you know, I can almost a callback to the criticisms from the first Joker. And it also is really boring and really dull. And also it's either you commit to the musical or you don't. Like, that's the kind of two thing, and it really cowardly tiptoes way around it, similar to how they were speaking about it when they were asked to. Was it Cannes this premiered at? It was Cannes, wasn't it? Or Venice.
Venice,
I think.
Like when they were asked to Venice, you know, they were like, "Oh, it's not musical, but we do use music to push forward narrative." It's like, no, it's a fucking musical then.
It's a musical.
Yeah, and it's like I get why they're doing that because obviously we saw all the stats, but it's also I just don't think there's anything there. 1.5 for me. I'm sure we'll speak about the ending and stuff. Yeah, kind of hated it, to be honest.
Tyler, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I echo a lot of what Seth said. I kind of hated it as well. Watched it at the fan first screening on Monday, and walking out, I knew people weren't going to like my review, and I gave it a 2-star before people saw it. And then, but I was like confident that people like I would be proven right in the end, because like walking out and just hearing the murmurs from people who are like big Joker fans, big comic book movie fans, like everyone walking out of theater was kind of like, that sucked. That was ass. Like, that was
whether
boring.
you love the first Joker,
right,
or hated the first Joker. People seem to be agreeing that this is bad. That's not a position you want to put yourself in.
Right.
You need to appease one crowd.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they haven't done.
Yeah, they need the focus group to tell them what's going to piss off fans. We'll get to that later. But
we will.
This movie was, it was kind of my worst fears coming true with the musical aspect. It didn't commit fully enough. Like half of them, or like pretty much all the musical numbers start off with like a half commitment, and then it kind of gets going. Like all of them are just so out of place. I will say though, the set designs and like the way the musical numbers looked, I thought was great. Like I loved those sets, very fun. It just didn't commit enough, and the characters didn't seem committed enough to the musical aspects, and the director never felt like he was committed enough. It's either you just got to be all in or not. People already knew this was going to be a musical coming in, as much as the cast and crew said didn't want to say it was. So people already knew it was going to be. So people were already like expecting it. So if you went full force musical, you couldn't piss them off anymore because they already knew it. Just should have committed to that. But this movie is so boring, and it's one of those that like you kind of realize pretty quickly. You're like, oh no, this is not going to be that exciting a movie. It's 2 hours, 20 minutes long. The first one was just over 2 hours, like 2 hours, 2 minutes. Courtroom drama, which I'm not a big trailers guy. I don't watch a ton or like rewatch a ton of trailers, but I think they at least concealed that part decently well, because I didn't expect that an hour and 20 minutes of this movie would take place in a courtroom, basically, with procedurals and cross-examinations going on. But yeah, interesting. Lady Gaga, I think, was actually great in this. Like some people walking out of theaters said they really didn't like her. I think she's able to convey so much emotion with just her subtle facial expressions, and I think she's just a great actress. I think she did great in this role. I didn't think her character was like the best written or like had the most. I think I saw someone say she has like 20 minutes of screen time, so not in it like a ton. But I think I just think she is a great actress. And Joaquin Phoenix, I actually think might have been a little better in this than the first Joker. But I know a lot of people are mixed on his performance overall in terms of just him as a Joker. I'm a big fan of him in this role. I think the Joker movies are just kind of like easy punching bags for a lot of people, and some people just like, once they get in the hater mindset, they just want to spiral all the way down. But I do think Joaquin is great in these. And I mean, he definitely has more range in this one. The first one was just him getting beat down by society. This one, he's like singing, he's falling in love. I think he does well. He does good in this role. And also visually, I think this movie looks good. Like it's shot for IMAX. I think it's a pretty looking movie. I think Arkham Asylum looks awesome. That set was awesome. That island, I think it looks great. And I think a lot of the stuff visually looks pretty good in this movie. So like there's positives to be had for me in this movie. I think the performances are solid. The set designs are solid. I think it looks visually cool. But the story is such a boring slog. It takes no risks narratively. Like, you know, the first movie is trying to talk about, you know, the effects of society and your mental health. Like that's what it's like going for. And this one's kind of going for, you know, that still, but also more like prison and mental health treatments and asylums and the difference between the accused and the prosecuting and the legal system and the sensationalization of celebrities going to trial and how that riles up the community watching. So like that's what it was trying to go for. And again, it just felt like they just like gave us an inch deep of what they were trying to say for it, just never fully committed to anything or gave us anything meaningful to say. I do think this was a swing. I said this at the bottom of my Letterboxd review. Like it might not, it was like a check swing or like a bunt if you know baseball. But at least Todd Phillips went in there and tried to tried to do something here with a minor swing. So I do applaud that. I know there's like tweets going around of him like saying like movies he walked out of and stuff, but I don't really pay too much. And I feel like every director and every public figure, I feel like you can find a quote where you're like, God, he's such an asshole for saying this. So like I was like, whatever. But I think
what did he say?
Well, he just said like it was like he walked out of two movies he's walked out of. He said like he walked out of like Hulk and Godzilla something or whatever, and people are all.
Who said that?
Todd Phillips. But
which Hulk?
Your Hulk.
What a fucking moron. Crazy. That is weird to come out and say that though.
Yeah. I think it was like a part of an interview. Someone asked him, like, have you ever walked out of a movie or whatever? But yeah, so he took a swing. I really thought it was just fascinating to like just undermine your first movie. And I came away wondering why this is made other than money, just because like this narrative doesn't really build much. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't feel like it needed to be said. And like, we talk about it all the time. Like, yeah, no movie needs to be made. But this one really felt like it really didn't need to be made. And it's 5 years post the first one, which most sequels are like 2 or 3 years after. So it's like odd. I think everyone kind of watched the first one and we're like, I'd be happy if this was just a self-contained thing. Joaquin doesn't do sequels, and here he is in this. Like, weird on all fronts. Todd Phillips tried to take a swing, didn't fully commit to the swing. I wish he went more fully on the musical side and really tried to do something interesting. But again, just interesting to undermine the first movie, especially when the fans, like the hardcore fanatics of the first movie, are like individuals I feel like you don't want to piss off. And he just like fully ripped the rug out from under them. So interesting. Yeah, interesting. It's just kind of the way I'm leaving this, and not really in a positive way, but that's kind of my thoughts on it, spoiler free. George.
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of ran through everything I thought. Fuck, man. I love the first Joker, and I hated this movie, so I can't even imagine what people who dislike the first Joker are feeling right now. I'll still defend that first movie till the day I die. I just rewatched it recently, and I still genuinely think it's such a new and refreshing look at this character. I think everyone's criticism saying like, oh, this isn't the Joker. I think that's just such a ignorant criticism, because there's no official Joker. There's no official origin story for this character. We've seen his origin play out countless times in various iterations. So I think Todd Phillips just kind of adding a new story to this character, it worked in that first Joker. I think Hilder's score goes crazy. I think some of the visuals just go nuts. And obviously Joaquin's fantastic. So naturally I was excited coming into this one. And I did like the trailers. I really did, even though they were diving into the musical, which I'm not the biggest musical fan. I was excited for this movie, but yeah, I think if I had to rank like movies I wish were never made, this is probably number one. Like, I genuinely walked out of that.
There's no way this is number one.
I think this is number one. I wish the first Joker was just a standalone movie. I think that the way that movie ended, we didn't need a sequel. We didn't need to see him, whatever. You
don't want a trilogy then?
I don't want anything.
Imagine
nope.
Yeah.
And an ending we'll talk about. But yeah, I was surprisingly, I was on board for like 15 minutes. I really was. 15 to 20 minutes of this movie, I was on board. We're in Arkham. It is, like Tyler said, the set design of Arkham on what is like kind of Rikers Island. It's just it looked awesome. Like, it is just such a we haven't seen Arkham in live action done like that well. So I think that Arkham was just beautiful. It was haunting.
You don't think we've had live action like that? Arkham?
Not like. No, I mean, we saw it a little bit in like Batman Begins. We saw
no, you're right. Yeah,
we see it a little bit in the Batman when Robert Pattinson goes to talk to Riddler. But yeah, we haven't seen it on this level. In live action. I think it's beautiful, really. I think it's a fantastic, like Tyler said, it's a fantastic set. And the first like 20 minutes of this movie, you have Arthur just kind of, he like doesn't talk for a while, and you have Hilder's score going, and it's just like, okay, like this is cool. Like, it's haunting. It's like scary, not scary, but like, it's making me uncomfortable. Like, it's the vibes of the first Joker. And then, it unfolds to nothing. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes of boring nonsense, I guess. It's a bad courtroom drama. It's never as compelling as you kind of want it to be in its courtroom aesthetic. Its dialogue, its line deliveries, they're just not good. It's a very lazily written courtroom drama. The musical, I think, is just bland. I don't think any of the songs were particularly catchy, infectious. The choreography was just a little lazy. Harley Quinn, Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, she wasn't fleshed out enough. I genuinely didn't know what I was supposed to believe was real in this movie and what was just in Arthur's mind. Yeah, it's just nothing landed. It was like the movie ended and I was like, was that it? Like, is that the movie? Like like nothing happens. You never feel the movie keeps referring to Arthur's trial as the trial of the century. You just never feel that weight. Like you never feel like it's that big of a deal. Maybe until like the final 10 minutes. But you just never get that. Like there's no weight in this movie. There's no weight in its relationship between Joker and Harley. There's no weight in its, I guess, commentary on celebrity trials, the mistreatment of the mentally ill, the mistreatment of incarcerated persons. This film just carries no weight. It's just very, like Tyler said, it's an inch deep. It's an inch deep and a mile wide when you want a movie to be a mile wide and a mile deep. So I don't know. It really didn't land for me. And like genuinely, I walked out of this theater saying, I truly wish this movie was never made. Like genuinely, it's like the one movie. And I know we always say this on this pod, like, oh, but no movies are necessary. Yeah. This movie was unnecessary. Brendan Gleeson, innocent. I think he's actually pretty decent and kind of funny as the guard. Hilder's score in Joker 1, truly, it's like one of my favorite scores ever. There are some tracks that I just absolutely love. It is so cello heavy. It is so haunting. You have glimpses of that score in this movie, but not enough to like truly like, I guess, make me connected to anything going on. I really didn't love Harry Lottie as Harvey Dent. And I know this is like and before people start commenting, shitting on the Harvey Dent casting, I know this is like a younger Harvey Dent. This is the early stages Harvey Dent. So he's still like this very, I guess, cocky person, but Harvey Dent is a mature, cocky person, where this came off as frat bro wearing a suit, cocky person, and there's a very big difference between those two.
Very punchable.
Very punchable. Yeah, very, my daddy will sue kind of vibes, and I didn't really love it that much. We'll talk about the ending when we get to spoilers, but dude, people were freaking out. I think HC Joe was like one of the first people to see this movie, and he like bugged out about the ending. Like he was like, "Oh my God, like I can't believe they went down that rabbit hole." And I'm like, it's kind of like a standard ending, like not standard, like it still came out of nowhere, but it was like I was expecting something crazy. Like I was expecting Batman to pull up.
I was expecting Batman to like come in at the episode. Everyone's talking about it. I was supposed to like Batman to come in and they have like an interaction. I was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce Wayne at that point is like 9 years old, so that would never have happened. But like
a 9-year-old in a Batman suit would have been even crazy.
Or like I don't know, but like the way everyone was talking about that ending, I was expecting my jaw to be on the floor, when in reality I was like, okay, this is just stupid. Like, what are we?
I don't think it's a bad ending. I don't think it's like particularly shocking. I just think it's a really amateurish ending.
Honest. I do think it's a bad ending, and we'll talk about why when we get to spoilers. But all right, let's like get into spoilers. Let's start talking a little more spoilery. So if you have not seen Joker 2, Folie à Deux, check the timestamps below and skip ahead, or put us on pause and go watch the movie. Hate it and come back and hate it with us. But like we said, so the movie turns out to be essentially a courtroom drama, and the trailers did hide just how much of a courtroom drama it is. And essentially, Arthur's lawyer is trying to argue that he has dissociative identity disorder, that Joker is a completely different personality from Arthur Fleck. So instead of, Arthur Fleck killing 6 people, it was Joker who kind of took over his mind type thing. In the midst of all that, he meets Harleen Quinzel, who they refer to as Lee. This isn't really a spoiler, but I do want to mention it. Everyone's saying that like the Joker and Joker 2 Folia do. It's just they're not Joker movies, and they just slap the Joker IP on it to make a little extra money. I disagree with that, especially in the first movie. I couldn't disagree more with it in the first movie. I disagree with it in the second movie, but I understand why people would have that thought, because Harley Quinn, just non-existent in this movie, just not there, not fleshed out, zero like worthy development, zero like genuine intrigue in her relationship with Arthur. I know the Duct Tapes podcast basically said like the movie was even scared to call her Harley Quinn, because it's as if like they're acknowledging like, yeah, this isn't really Harley Quinn. We're just kind of tacking it on. So that kind of bothered me. I disagree with people saying that these 2 movies are not Joker movies and they just slap the Joker IP on it. I kind of agree with it when it comes to Harley Quinn, because I can totally understand like that sentiment. Like it's just, that's not Harley Quinn. Like the Harley Quinn in 2016's Suicide Squad was significantly better than this. Margot Robbie will always reign supreme right now. That is a fantastic casting. But yeah, so she meets Arthur meets her. They kind of start this love story while the trial kind of goes on and on. One thing I didn't necessarily love about the trial is that you never felt any like forward progression, I guess. Like, and I don't know if that's just bad writing or if that's just kind of like how Todd Phillips wanted to like give us this courtroom drama, but like it never felt like we were making strides both in the defense and in the prosecution. Like you never felt like anything was like genuinely being accomplished, which sucks when an hour and 40 minutes of a 2 hour and 20-minute movie is a courtroom drama. But yeah, those are what spoilers, again, like we said this before the pod even started, like what are we even going to talk about? Because this movie is just boring and nothing fucking happened.
I mean, the ending spoilers, obviously, but I'm trying to think if there's any like spoiler stuff I want to talk about before that. Because I feel like the ending, like, obviously want to talk about that, but what happens leading up to that we want to discuss?
Yeah.
I mean, Harley, I think the big thing with Harley Quinn is like, and this is what Riley was saying, leaving the theater. She was like, and like people talk about the first Joker and say like, oh, maybe Arthur Fleck's not Joker, like he inspires the actual Joker, like that's a popular theory everyone likes to believe. So then maybe like Harley Quinn and this Joker's relationship is never supposed to be what Harley Quinn and Joker's relationship is, and that's a later Joker that's inspired. But Harley Quinn, like, and again, I'm not a comic book guy, so I probably know zero lore, but this is what Riley was saying, at least. She's like, I feel like Harley Quinn's supposed to be like the one breaking Joker out and like being like crazy with him, and like I feel like Harley or Lee in this one was just manipulating him mentally and just like trying to, like, she obviously checks herself into the asylum just so she can be by him, and they has a baby with him, I guess, and then
it's okay. I think you had your camera and your mic off when I was saying this, so I don't know if you heard it, but I said this. Okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to believe in this movie was real and what was in Arthur's. Like, one, did she genuinely visit him in solitary confinement? Did they have sex, and did she get pregnant? Like, did that really happen?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
I don't know what
think, like how would she even get into solitary confinement? But then again, you think of like Harley Quinn lore of comic book, like she's supposed to be able to be sneaky, stealthy, like break all the rules, get in. Like, so you'd think like based on Harley Quinn, the character, she could get into solitary confinement, make it happen. Based on Lee in this movie, don't really think so. I feel like she was just more emotionally manipulative, trying to get him to defend himself and fire his lawyer, who was going for like the multiple personality disorder, crazy insanity defense, to get him to get like not death penalty, which is what they were going for. But it just didn't seem like the Harley Quinn, the bombastic, wild Harley Quinn we're used to seeing, like the Margot Robbie version. But again, maybe that's because this is her early on, and it's like the next Joker who gets inspired by this, who becomes the Batman's big foe in 20 years, is the one that she gets with. But weird. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other spoilers. I mean, Brendan Gleeson is great, like you were saying. But the beginning of the movie opens with like a 10-minute animated sequence, which like kind of first I was like, this is a fun, creative little thing. And then it went on for a while. And that's just kind of the theme that carried out throughout the rest of the movie, where I'm like, oh, everything that's happening is going on for way longer than I thought it would.
Yeah. It was just so much like nothing fleshed out. But oh my God, the more I'm like thinking about this movie, the more I'm just like angering myself, and I want to jump to the ending, but I'm also trying to like quickly snip through like this plot summary to make sure we didn't miss any like math. I've never walked out of a 2 hour and 20-minute movie and genuinely questioned what happened. Like, genuinely.
Let's start with the beginning of the third act and work our way to the end. So the beginning of the third act is kind of like he's fired his lawyer at this point. He's defending himself, and he kind of has this big reveal where he kind of breaks down. And he's like, I'm not like, this is not who I am. There's all been an act. Like, I'm not really like Joker. So like kind of what his lawyers are saying, but not in like an insanity way. It's kind of like, he was trying to put on a front of being this villain, this psycho guy. And he's really not. He's just a misunderstood kind of person who's been beaten down. And this is when Harley Quinn kind of is like, well, fuck this guy. He's not he's not the bad boy I thought he was. He's just a fake bad boy. Peace out. See you later. And then this is kind of basically about when the bomb hits, right? Yeah.
Which I will say, that shit came out of nowhere. That kind of
made me jump. Yeah. Kind of like I was watching IMAX. I was like, fuck, loud as hell.
That came out of nowhere.
I thought they were going to do the Harvey Dent Two-Face right there, but I'm glad that was
crazy. They did.
I think it was like a subtle illusion. Like he didn't actually like burn his face fully off, but
but like you could see like kind of like half of his body was like not burned, but definitely more like mangled than the other half of his body. I don't know. I thought they were doing that too, and I was like, maybe not, because that would be such a stupid setup for like a franchise. Like, there's no more Joker movies, so why would they even kind of tease something?
And it's such
like
early
that?
Stage Harvey Dent. So like, how would he become Two-Face that early on in his like career?
And then just stay Two-Face for years without being caught? Absolutely not.
This is the issue. I think like within this film, the issue is you've got like these two camps of people, and you've got the people who, like George said, are kind of banking on this guy being the Joker and kind of wanting him to fulfill that and to be what everyone believes is, and kind of just, I guess, push off like to the side. And then when it goes into like Harley Quinn, again, it's weird because it's a different one than we've seen before, a different impression. And it could just be that, you know, again, like Tyler said, she's like the misleading one, the one who wants to push him a certain way, kind of as the fans are. I think like it's weird, right? Because I think like Tyler said, I think this film is a swing, right? In a way that it is like a self-sabotage of the first one and kind of the views of the first one and the impressions of that. But I think it's the least interesting swing in the history of swings, you know? I just think it's not interesting. But it's like you have these camps of people. You've got this camp where it's like, we want things to be comic book accurate within the characters. You've got the other camp that kind of just wants the Joker to be the Joker, and that to be. And this was, this was never a setup to be Batman's Joker. You know what I mean? That's not what we're dealing with here. Yeah. And I think anyone who thinks that is like, stupid. Just watch the film. You know what I mean? It was
Joker
never
be like 65 years old by the time.
But then I won't say the ending, but then it ties me into the ending, and it's like, for me, that is the most kind of stupidly obvious amateurish way of doing that and reference. No, carry on. We'll get that.
Well, like, so the bomb goes off at this point, and during the courtroom, because basically like they're doing their closing arguments, final, like it's the jury is like reading the verdict at this point, and I think he's being charged with like, I don't know, whatever, X amount of counts. I think the very first count they say is guilty, and it starts to make it like all of them, you kind of get the vibe are going to be guilty, but like halfway through the juror reading the verdicts, a bomb goes off. Looks like some people probably died, but for the most part just destroyed the courtroom completely, and everyone was like knocked out or disoriented, and Joker he was like kind of on the very opposite end of the courtroom, so he was able to kind of get out of it better than most. He gets up, and then it kind of just straps you into like, all right, let's go to the ending of Joker 1 and just rinse and repeat. We're going to get you in a car of other Jokers that are going to drive you away to safety. And I was like, wow, we're really just kind of repeating the first one here, huh? And then, yeah, so he's driving away, and then he ended up escaping the Joker car. Because again, like the guys who got him are like, feel like the end of the first movie, they're saving the Joker. But at the end of the first movie, he kind of like stands up in front of everyone, and you see a whole uprising start to follow him. Whereas in this one, he gets out of the car and runs away because like, this isn't who I am. Like I'm done with this life. This isn't me. So he runs away, sees Harley Quinn one last time on the stairs, and kind of just like ends their relationship there. But I mean, at this point, I don't really think I really missed anything to where now at this point he's back in the prison and the ending happens.
Yeah. So so I knew everyone was freaking out over the ending. So like the entire time the movie was running, I was like, oh, what's the ending? Like, when is it going to come up? So like, even when the prison guards like beat the shit out of Arthur, I was like, is this the ending? Like, are they going to kill him right now? Didn't happen, obviously. And then when he was on the stairs and Harley walks away, I thought the ending was going to be like, she was going to turn around, fucking shoot him, and he's going to fall down the stairs and die. But the ending ended up being, so he's walking, someone's here to visit him. We don't know who. I'm assuming, actually, I don't know. I don't think it would be Harley.
Riley asked the same question. I'm like, I'm pretty sure no one was visiting him in the cops.
Yeah, exactly.
We're like, let's get this guy killed.
Yeah. So then this guy shows up behind him, another inmate who all movie, like, we're kind of teasing him. Like the camera kept like
bad vibes every time you saw his face.
Every time. The camera kept like just zooming in on him. The camera kept focusing in on him. And every time it did, Hilder's score would kind of like slowly build. So he comes over and he's like, hey, Arthur, I got a fucking joke for you. Tells the worst joke possible about this psychotic man and the Joker in a bar. And the Joker in the joke says something like, oh, what can I get you? And then the guy says like, you can get me what I fucking deserved, and then stabs Arthur in the stomach. So Arthur dead on the floor, and the guy in the background is sitting down laughing, and he cuts a smile into his face.
That was crazy.
So, which was crazy. So I texted Alex almost immediately. My first thing was like, is that supposed to be the real Joker, or is that just a fanatic?
I think it's like a movement, like a fanatic. I think it's a for me, it's like Arthur is, I guess, the Joker, not the Joker, not the Joker we know of, but again, like George was saying, this is meant to be the Joker we know in terms of Batman's Joker. But I see it as like he does that, it's kind of Joker not wanting to be the Joker, realizing it's not him, which is the whole, ongoing theme throughout the film. That happens, and again, this is kind of the start of a movement. They see Joker's almost like a martyr at that stage, like he's dying for a cause to continue that, like you said, George, like fanatic. So I don't think that is the Joker for me. I just think it's the group part of something more in terms of furthering his, philosophy. Let's say.
Yeah, I didn't know what, I didn't know what I was supposed to believe, which I guess is like cool. It's an ambiguous ending. So like the first thought that kind of rummaged through my head was that, okay, that's the real Joker, and Arthur Fleck is the poser, phony, like fake, fanatic. And then like, as I was like letting that ending sit with me, I was like, okay, maybe Arthur is the real Joker, and this is the poser, fake fanatic. Like, I don't know. I didn't know what to believe. Like, it was, I almost would have rather, instead of him like carving a smile into his face after killing Arthur, either just cut a smile into Arthur's face and be like, yeah, like he died as the Joker. Like he will forever live on with these scars on his face, and he'll be the Joker. Or just allude to like another Arkham inmate, like another comic book character that like just could have just hated Joker, like literally anyone.
I guess like kind of if he did that, though, the only issue kind of just goes against everything he's done within it to separate itself from being part of the DC,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I almost see it as like it's like kind of a meta commentary to the fans of the first one, like kind of like who see Arthur Fleck's Joker as like this literally me almost character, where it's like a reflection of that. And it's almost like incel culture kind of thing, Whereas this is the thing is, again, I like the thinking. I just think it's such a stupid, boring, like obvious tone deaf way of doing it. I think that's such a cop out ending to showcase it like that. I don't mind the thinking, but it's the actions behind it is my issue.
Yeah, it's such a interesting swing that I don't think, one, landed for me, two, made me lose my mind. I don't know, Arthur's death just it makes sense. You knew this wasn't we weren't going to get more movies. They weren't just going to leave him in Arkham after this movie. Kill him, why not? Who gives a fuck? And we know he's significantly older than Bruce Wayne in this universe, so he's obviously not going to be the Joker that this universe would have to deal with Batman around. So I don't know. It was such a weird left turn ending. I'm even looking for the name of that character, but they don't really show it.
It's I think
is it Ricky Moline?
No.
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is.
No, I think Ricky Moline is the other one, the one that Arthur kisses.
Gee, this film's gonna be mad. Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
Okay, maybe you're right.
But all right. I mean, anything else we want to say on Joker? I mean, we kind of ran through the big points, even though there aren't that many big points to begin with.
Yeah, it's difficult because it's one part of me is oh, it's at least he's tried something new, but then the other part of me is I just don't think that worked at all. It's almost difficult because I don't think it'd been. I think he would have struggled to win over, especially. It's a really interesting point because you can't really win over people who hated the first film in this way, because I think a lot of the commentary is very similar. But then you can't win the people over who've loved the first one because you've kind of just spat it back in their face in terms of people who love the first one.
Yeah,
which I kind of respect. It's almost like the most ballsy thing. So it's
it is part of me wants to at least just respect it. It's an admirable left turn with this character and with this movie, but also I just don't think you can do two solo Joker movies in the DC universe without the greater DC universe. It worked as a one-off in 2019 because it was a Joker origin story. But once you get past the origin story, it's okay, now you need to include the main drivers of Joker, which are Batman, which are Harley Quinn, which she was in this movie, but she was just kind of lifeless. You have to just include the things that make this character great in the comic books and previous iterations of this character in TV, movies, animated, live action. So I don't know. I don't think we needed this sequel. And if we did need the sequel, we needed the greater DC universe, I think.
Yeah. Can I share something fun for you guys?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to share my screen. So this has been fun to follow. BluRayAngel's Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw this.
Oh, God.
This movie broke BluRayAngel. This movie broke BluRayAngel. Let's go through this series, okay?
In a good way? Oh, no.
We'll go through it. So now watching...
if BluRayAngel likes it, dislikes it, I might have to change my rate. It's a 4 or some shit. I'm not going to lie to you.
He loves the first one.
Well, yeah, let's start. 13 hours ago, now watching Joker 2. Thought the first one was a masterpiece. Hyped.
Oh, no.
Are you serious? Is this ending a joke? 10 hours ago. 9 hours ago. Joker 2 in theaters. A picture of him seeing it before the movie. Clown face. 8 hours ago. Joker, headlined by 2 compelling performances. Felt like whatever. The ending betrays both films. Todd Phillips played a bad joke on fans and got away with his comic book movie check. Can't stand comic book movies that don't embrace being comic book movies. Is Todd Phillips criticizing comic book fans for wanting to see the Joker? Why use the IP then? Make an original movie with a different title. Why take advantage of the comic book fandom and stab them? Me seeing Todd Phillips destroy both Joker movies with the ending of Joker 2 and his Batman punching the glass. Now DC fans know how Game of Thrones fans feel with endings. Walking out of the theater after Joker 2 and his Joker scene from The Dark Knight when he stabbed people with a pencil.
Yeah. This is BluRayAngel's Joker origin story.
This is still 7 hours ago. I forgot how Todd Phillips was with sequels.
Hey, Hangover 2. Hangover Part 2 is good. I'll say it's
funny, man.
Hangover Part 2 is funny. Like that. Let's not compare the two. That's kind of
quote tweeting. Todd Phillips says he's done with DC after Joker 2, and then he says, "Good riddance." I felt like the attitude of Joker was a classic cynical comic book movies aren't cinema, and I hate that they're dominating the movie industry, which is so hypocritical considering the first Joker will be Todd Phillips' most successful movie he'll ever make.
Jesus.
And then a couple other things. Then
come on.
The best comic book movies are from directors that love and respect the source material. People were walking out of my Joker 2 screening. I was genuinely shocked and troubled by how many during various points in the movie. How do you fumble the greatest villain of all time? 2 DC universes obliterated. 6. This is all like back-to-back.
We only threw a welfare check on this man. Like
we still got Matt Reeves' Joker. I believe in Matt Reeves. Me trying to defend DC. Joker 2 is not connected to The Dark Knight. We should never, ever put them in the same conversation again. Then just a crying gift.
Just a crying gift.
Why did Todd Phillips disrespect his own masterpiece of fans of the first movie? Game of Thrones, Rise of Skywalker, now Joker 2, Heartbreak. I cannot believe the scene with Joker the Guards, really. Todd Phillips really said...
Wait, what was wrong with that scene?
He just keeps on going. And then that's it, 4 hours ago. But he saw Joker 13 hours ago and probably posted 30 tweets shitting on it in the past 7 hours. This man is broken. This man is broken.
Yeah,
the worst BluRayAngel run was the Dune Star Wars comparisons. Those were the days.
Oh my god,
he went crazy, dude. So good,
crazy with those. Good god,
it is. Yeah, because you just like, man, it's just like such a. What's the opposite of a crowd pleaser? I don't know. You can't. This is like. There's no pleasing people with this one, so I almost just have to respect.
But like, just stupid. It's like, who is this movie even for? You know,
Todd Phillips just doing this to be like, yeah, fuck you guys, man. That's
all right, before we move on, let's talk about theater etiquette, because this had to be one of my least favorite theater experiences ever. So I tweeted a little bit about it, but let's break down what went on in my theater. Guy next to me recording, not the full movie, like at random points he would just lift his phone up and record, like not even the musical numbers, just genuinely just like the most random moments in this movie. He would pick up his phone, record for 5 minutes, put his phone down, 10 minutes later pick up his phone, record for 5 minutes, put his phone down, doing this whilst ripping his vape in my direction the entire time. And I told you this before we started recording the episode, Tyler. He was doing that thing where he was trying to like hide the smoke because he didn't want to be blowing clouds in a theater. So like the way he was hiding the smoke, like it directed his cloud in my direct. So dude, I was furious. If this dude wasn't 6'1", 230, I would have said something, but he was a big guy, unfortunately. Guys behind us were talking like max volume, loud. The guy to the right of Sophie, so I'm on Sophie's left side. The guy to the right of Sophie turned around once and said shh, like very loud. Didn't quiet them. They still went on. They still were chatting loudly. So I turn around, smaller guys, so I felt better about speaking up. I turn around, I smack one of the guys in the legs, and I just said, shut the fuck up. And then they didn't talk the rest of the movie. So that was nice. Guy in front of me, full brightness, texting half the movie, like zero regard for anyone around him. And this was, so before the movie started, he had asked like 3 people to shift down so that he and his friend can sit together. So like he already... It is assigned seating, but I guess him and his friend couldn't get 2 seats together, so they had to be a little bit apart. So they asked everyone to just kind of... What?
Was it that busy?
Yeah, it was a sold-out show.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think almost close to sold out.
Okay.
So yeah, like full brightness, like what and like I tweeted this about the film festival, and Sydney also tweeted about this. Dude, the forced laughter at some movies is insane. Like there are so many
film festivals.
Dude, like I feel like people think if they laugh at like sarcastic comments or like witty, clever quips, they'll feel like more intelligent or sophisticated.
It's not even meant to be funny.
Yeah, like, dude, sitting through Maria, people were laughing left and right in like heavy moments. And I'm like, this is not funny. Stop fucking laughing. Like, you're not proving to anyone that you're more sophisticated than them by laughing at a clever remark. Like, it's not meant to be funny. And like, I get the sentiment where it's like, oh, like comedy subjective. What you may not find funny, someone else might find funny. And I'm like, I promise you, people are laughing just fake. The entire, I swear to God, it's fake laughter. Fucking the amount of times I walk out of a movie and look at whoever I'm with and say, like, was that movie funny or were people just excessively laughing? It's like every other movie I see. Like, it's so annoying, the excessive laughter. And I think Sydney tweeted saying something like, excessive unnecessary laughter is worse than like people using their phones. Completely agree.
I agree.
Genuinely,
that's like one of the highest, the top most annoyances.
Genuinely, completely agree. And it's like, it's annoying because it's like at the film festival, it's like pockets of laughter. Like, it's not the whole theater laughing. It's like specific areas. So what I think is happening is I think one person chuckles a little bit, and then the people around them are like, oh, maybe I was supposed to laugh here. Let me laugh now. And it's like, dude, stop.
Do you know when you guys were at school, you know, when you did like exams or whatever, did you ever have that thing where like someone would cough and then everyone would just cough and carry on? That's like a thing people do. Yeah. So like here, it was a thing in school where like someone would cough and then everyone thought it was funny to like cough, you know, to like just do it and there's little pockets of it. It's the same thing with the laughter, right?
It's so excessive, man.
Someone else will laugh. It's so annoying. Like when I watched Boy and the Heron at London Film Festival, which is like funny at moments, don't get me wrong. But there were people like howling at the most like emotional moments just because there was like a stupidly created character or whatever. It was really bizarre.
I don't want to sound like a hater, and I know everyone views humor differently, but genuinely, I can't think of ever in my life I've watched a movie that I've actually had to audibly laugh. Oh. I've seen hilarious movies. I never like no sound will ever come out of me, no matter what. And I know everyone like reacts to humor different. Maybe that's just me.
Really? That's actually so.
I don't ever make a noise ever.
Oh no, some films
it has to be really, really funny for me to like
maybe it's
make
like
noise
subconsciously in the theater, because at home I think I do, and and it's not like a forced thing. I think it's just like subconsciously when I'm in a theater, I'm like, shut the fuck up, sit down. You're a ghost. No one knows who you are. You're just there.
Yeah.
No need to make a scene. But
yeah, dude.
I don't know. I also
there are some films as well. There's like the occasional film where if I'm in the cinema, if it really gets me, you know. But it's not that often. Like,
dude, most but like these movies I'm watching at the film festival aren't even comedies. Like The Brutalist, funny, has a lot of funny moments worthy of chuckles. Yeah, genuinely, it has funny moments. Like Guy Pearce, funny. But like Maria, people were laughing through this biopic about Maria Callas, who lived like such a devastatingly heartbreaking life. And I'm like, just because Angelina Jolie as Maria Callas is sarcastic and dropping like these clever one-liners here and there, it's not funny. Like, these aren't meant to be funny, and people are like chuckling their way through this movie that is just supposed to like be heavy and supposed to carry so much emotional weight. And it's like it feels disrespectful to the movie because people want to just chuckle because it makes them feel more sophisticated. Like Leo pointing at the screen like, oh, I got that joke. You know, I understand that reference. Right. It's like, it's crazy. It's so annoying. And like, trust me, I get it. Comedy is subjective, but there are moments where it's so excessive, it like ruins the theater experience for me.
Yeah. A joke or two, there's this group of 4 ladies behind me. I mean, the theater etiquette all over the theater was bad, but 4 ladies behind me were all dressed up like in like jokery stuff. And we're like talking the whole movie, but like every time they finish talking with each other, they say like, oh, sorry. Like to anyone around them who's like hearing them talk. I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. Don't be sorry. We're not in the spoiler section anymore, so I won't say anything. But like in a dream sequence in the courtroom when Arthur Fleck does something, that's what I wanted to do to them. Just turn around and just that, yeah. But seriously, theater etiquette is so shit now. And that's why, like, genuinely, and by far the worst ever is always horror movies. The worst, especially. That's why I hope. Yeah. If you're a horror, if you know, I know a lot of directors listen to our podcast. If you are a horror movie director, I don't care what your movie ends up being like, just throw in like 2 F-bombs just so it gets rated R, because PG-13 horror movies are my worst nightmare for a theater.
Yeah.
I know still people underage can sneak into movies that are, but it still is enough of a barrier that, like, still Megan in theaters, PG-13, the worst fucking shit of my life, dude.
Yeah.
So if you're a horror director, make it.
What did you expect of Megan? To be fair, that is like a. I wouldn't have gone. I couldn't have gone to cinema to see that.
I mean, yeah, it is Blumhouse after all.
Yeah, Blumhouse plus, like you said. Here's a question, just side note. You know when you have like an R-rated film, which I think is like, what is it? Is it 17 in the US?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got like 18, 15. If you have an R-rated film, do people actually get IDs checked if they look young? Does it actually happen?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting because it doesn't happen here that often.
I got ID'd for Joker last night.
The worst part of working at a movie theater by far. So many people.
You didn't.
Yeah, George got ID'd. You got ID'd?
Yeah, for Joker.
What?
Yeah, if you're.
Yeah.
It's like they do it just to protect themselves from liability. So it's like that even if you like, I think the rule when I worked at AMC was like if anyone looks under 25, ID them. It's just a standard rule.
I've never been ID'd.
But it's the worst. People will come and they're like, I'm literally 24, dude. I don't have my ID.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, like, if you're driving without your ID, that's illegal. So
but I don't know if I got ID'd because I look young. I think I got ID'd because I use the AMC Stubbs app. So they want to make sure.
If you use the Stubbs app, they always.
Yeah.
Even if it's not R-rated, sometimes they do.
Yeah, they just want to make sure that you're not like screenshotting. Yeah, they ID'd Victoria too. They just want to make sure that like I'm not screenshotting my AMC, sending it to someone else and they're using it to be underage, like something like that, I think. So I don't know. But yeah, I get ID'd almost every movie that's R-rated.
That's unheard of here. Just doesn't happen.
Yeah, crazy. But all right, let's move on. We got some bit of news, some interesting stuff. We'll just continue with some hate conversations. Studios are assembling super fan focus groups to assess various materials for a franchise project to avoid social media backlash, because that's the best way to make movies. Get together a group of 20 dumb fucks and ask them what they would like in particular. How stupid, man. I swear that news came out and then immediately Seth quote tweet, Cam quote tweet, Owen quote tweet, Sydney quote tweet, the film drunk, everyone is quote tweeting this, shitting. I like, this is so stupid, man. This is just so dumb.
I only read the headline, so I didn't dive into it. Did it say like which studios, or just like it just generally said like studios are doing it?
Generally studios of big IP franchises. I would assume Disney. I would assume Disney.
I was gonna say it feels like I mean I wouldn't be surprised DC's doing it too, but it feels like that's like a Marvel thing or Disney in general, because
this feels like Star Wars, Marvel, Disney in general.
Because that just seems like how stupid Disney's run. Which I guess Star Wars rolls into Disney. So yeah, it's just stupid. Like that's why I saw then someone quote tweet with like the Denis Villeneuve quote about Dune 1. He's like, I made this movie for one person, and that's me. And that's how all movies should be. Just make it. Give me your singular directorial vision. Don't try and please anyone.
To try and please people with your own artistic work is just like such a lack of integrity in any way. Like it's such a chicken shit idea. Like it's why like Rise of Skywalker was so fucking shit. You know,
because Rise of Skywalker tried to play to 3 generations of Star Wars fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
it just plains people. It's like
whether you like it.
Last Jedi, for example. Like, I know people didn't like them. That's fine. Well, you don't have to like it. But there was an idea there. There was like a real unique thing in the Star Wars universe. Then you go to the next one. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
It's like,
and we just had a perfect example, Megalopolis. Whether people like the movie or not, that movie was made for one person, and that was Francis Ford Coppola. That's it. Yeah. That's the only person that made that movie for himself. Like, insane. This is just, I would love to I hope they record these focus groups. Like, genuinely. I hope they drop like Avengers, whatever next Avengers movies.
Cam will be in the MCU one.
Dude, do you think they'll probably reach out to like high profile creators most likely? I don't think they're gonna pull just like 20 random people or whatever.
What's the selection process for?
So they're trying to avoid social media backlash. We'll count Letterboxd as a social media profile because that's what it is. But I like to picture like DC Studios pulling up this review and being like, how do we avoid this going forward? How do we not let this happen ever again? Cam Walsh's review has been shown on the screen of him laughing and saying a lot of slurs.
Cam slowly turning into the Joker.
Yeah. So
scroll down. Look at that third comment, man. Look at that second comment.
George Carmi.
OD disrespect, man.
But yeah, I just like to picture like Peter Safran, well, I guess Joker. I don't know. It's like I still don't know the whole organizational structure because like I know like they own all of DC, but I don't really think they did much with Joker or Joker 2. So I don't know. But I just like to picture DC executive just like laser pointer to that in front of a focus group and be like, we want to avoid this.
Yeah, we want to make sure Cam Walsh does not have this experience ever again in any film ever.
It's terrible idea.
Stupid shit. Abbott Elementary and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia crossover episode is in the works. This is exciting for me because I watch both these shows and I think they're both fantastic shows. I don't know about you guys. If you guys
still
watch
current on
Abbott.
It's Always Sunny?
I don't know what Abbott.
I'm not. So no, It's Always Sunny. I haven't like watched a season probably in like 3 seasons, but one of my best friends does love the show. So if there's an episode worth watching, he'll just text me and say, you should watch this episode. Abbott Elementary, I'm a season behind, so I still need to catch up. But yeah, still both great shows. It's Always Sunny. Is it one of like the longest running live action sitcoms ever? I think
it's crazy.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be. It's on like season 17 by now, at least. I don't know. But this is exciting. I think both these shows are fantastic. Arcane season 1 will become one of the few Netflix original shows to be released on 4K Ultra HD physical media next week. I will be purchasing it. I love Arcane. I've said this many times. I think it is one of, if not the best season 1 of television ever, excluding limited series. I truly do think it is that good. I've seen it through 3 times now, and I think that sentiment just holds strong every time. It is that fucking good. And I don't even play League of Legends. I've never played League of Legends, so it is surprising that I love Arcane as much as I do. Season 2 comes out in November, I think. So obviously I'm very excited for that. Let's talk about walking out of theaters. So 11 people walked out during an opening screening of Terrifier 3. This is a bad movie to like open this conversation because that's understandable. Like if you're not into like gory, grotesque, if you're not into
why
that
are you seeing
stuff,
Terrifier 3 then?
Exactly, you know? That too. Like why are you seeing it to begin with? But
to be fair, I think that was the one here that I was going to go to, and I think that what we have to realize, and again, it gets me every time, these films are very good at marketing themselves. It's the same with the Saw films. It's the same sort of thing where it's like someone passed out in the front row, someone died because they couldn't stand seeing, and it's like, okay, let's just, they know what they're doing, and it's good because it gets interactions. But I get it, I'd get it more with like a Terrifier, or like even just any sort of body horror, because some people are a bit, like, for example, I think there was someone who walked out on that's kind of thing I understand,
If you don't love horror, if you don't love gore, why are you seeing a movie that is being marketed as you need vomit bags to sit through it?
Yeah, just watch the first one at home and then like.
But also, like beyond that, I've seen so much discourse lately on
walking out,
just walking out of theaters. Does that, Tyler? You texted that you've seen like 20 screenings where people have walked out. And like I was
stunned when I saw your tweet. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, people walk out all the time.
It's only happened once, genuinely only once, and that was Alex Garland's Men, where people walked out and did
as well.
And did not return. No one walked out of my screening of Megalopolis. No one has walked out of any screenings I've been to for fucking horror movies. People were saying that there were walkouts for Joker 2. Not one human being left my theater. Like. That's like, it's blowing my mind that this discourse is like so crazy.
I think it depends where you go. The cinema I go to now, because I don't go to the chain one, I go to an independent one now. It's very film heavy, and no one tends. I never see anyone walking out there ever. But when I go to like a big chain, I will see people walking out. Like it's a lot more common. Especially if it's something more experimental on that side of things. Yeah. But now I never see it. But when I used to go, like Men, for example, I remember so many people walking out there. Anything experimental in some way, if you're at a chain. I think people worked out The First Omen when I went to go and see that, because that was the last time I went to a chain. So it does happen, but probably not as much as I see other people saying it.
Yeah.
Does,
It's just insane to me why people walk out. Like, I get it if it's something like a Saw or Terrifier, like the first one. Like, you go into it and you're like, this is just a little more too gruesome than I was expecting, and like I can't stomach it. Makes sense. But like, If it's just like you think a movie's ass and walk out, it's like you already bought the ticket and planned like this next 2 hours and 15 minutes of my day, I'm watching this movie. So like, what are you really going to gain by leaving 30 minutes early? But yeah, like I'm just looking through my 2024 ranked list. So it's like Trap had people walk out. I saw TV Glow, Megalopolis, a ton of walkouts. Kinds of Kindness, people walked out. Substance, Long Legs, people walked out. Horizon.
Like look your location as well. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I see these at all different movie theaters. It's all around Phoenix area, but yeah, it could just be that. But I mean,
Phoenix is renowned for his walkouts, maybe.
Well, I mean, it is a lot of old people, so
that's what I mean.
They're probably like, my time is limited left in this life, and I'm not gonna. This next 30 minutes is like, I need this. I'm not gonna go finish the Kevin Costner's Horizon and the American Saga Part 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because a lot of the ones that are like more experimental, I went to like early screenings for. Lots of people you don't usually leave early screenings because I thought would you like a Trap or I saw the TV Glow or whatever. Trying to think if there's any. First Omen had a couple for me.
Like I'm even trying to think of like gore, like what, like I don't know, like no one walked out of TV Glow. Obviously, no one walked out of.
Oh, Strangers Chapter 1, which is, yeah, okay, fair enough. That was shit. That had a few people walk out in it for me, I think.
I don't know. People rarely.
I can't think of any others. Not this year. It's not happened nearly as much this year, to be fair.
It's never happened for me. Like, this is stunning.
Are you sure it hasn't happened and you haven't just noticed it? Because it has to have happened. Like
and I have seen the seats you and Sophie always get. You guys are in the front ass row. How are you going to see anyone walk out?
True.
I guess, but like...
I bet it has happened. I guarantee it has to have happened. There's no way it hasn't happened. It doesn't happen often for me, and it might not happen often, but it will happen on occasion, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. All right, well, whatever. Fuck that. First trailer for Robbie Williams' biopic Better Man, starring a CGI monkey as Robbie Williams.
I need to ask you guys this. Do you know who Robbie Williams is?
I found out who Robbie Williams was 2 days ago.
Tyler, to be fair, who did you not know? Who Oasis, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
To be fair, right? I think this surprised me, and this isn't me being just British centric, but like Europe-wise, and I think South America, weirdly, he was like massively renowned, like pop star, you know, like it says like radio chart and chart star and stuff. I don't know how many like monthly listeners. He has 12 million monthly listeners. Okay, that's not like crazy, but it's still a lot. It did surprise me, but a lot of the discourse on Twitter this week was like American people say they didn't know who he was. Here he is like you can't not know who he is. You know what I mean? Like he's massive. But it did surprise me that people didn't know who he was. I'm sure you might have heard like his songs if you went and listened to them, you know? But that is surprising to me that like no one knew.
Genuinely no clue. And the trailer's marketing him as like one of the biggest pop stars ever. I'm like, that's not true. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the biggest, I think, European or just maybe just outside of America, because he was like huge at a certain point. But it's difficult because it's difficult to portray. I always think he's maybe like just egocentric, you know, because he was involved in production as well. But he was like definitely massive for a while. Like, for example, like all his top 5 songs on Spotify have like, you know, 200 to 500 million streams. Like he was huge for a while.
Yeah, it's just crazy how much like things can be siloed across countries and continents. Because like there's genuinely dozens of people I can count on that were shocked at Eurovision, like the movie. Like they didn't know it was a real contest that goes on in Europe. Like I thought it was just like a made up thing.
People didn't know that was a thing.
No one that I talked to in America knows the Eurovision Song Contest in Europe. Like I didn't know it was a thing either until the movie. And I looked it up. I was like, oh shit, this is real. And that's like a big European contest. Like I don't know, it's weird. It's just so interesting. Some things just don't cross countries.
Trailer does look great though. Kind of looks electric. Not gonna lie.
It's like a dude who watches the Planet of the Apes movies. He's like, yes, hell yeah.
I actually like really respect that because I think Sydney and a few of those guys saw it and that they actually all enjoyed it as well, which is kind of cool. I said that it is like entirely different to any other biopic of sorts, so you know, could be pretty good. Who knows?
I mean,
probably make a bunch of money here.
We got the Robbie Williams biopic where this dude is a monkey. We have Pharrell Williams biopic and Legos. Like people are really just taking swings at new biopic things.
That's at London Film Festival. The Lego one.
Yeah, it was at. Actually, I don't think it was here.
But it's like I think that's like the premiere screening here.
No, it's not.
No, like I'm almost positive it is. Like honestly, it was really weird.
Oh my god,
So
that's so jokes. All right. Fucking Magazine Dreams has finally been acquired and will release early 2025.
Tyler saw that like 7 years ago.
Tyler saw that 2 decades ago.
I thought it was going to be the forbidden movie that no one else would be able
Tyler
to see.
saw that in the 90s.
I genuinely, I didn't think that movie was ever coming out. I thought they just said, fuck it. That's it. Game over. GG. So, like,
it was acquired by Searchlight, which is a much bigger distributor than Briarcliff. But then the allegations came out. And they dropped him. And now it's back in 2025. And it premiered at Sundance in 2023. Briarcliff.
What exactly? That's who has to pick up a Jonathan Majors project nowadays. Briarcliff.
Was it good? I can't remember what you thought of it back then, to be fair.
Oh, The Apprentice did Briarcliff, or it was by Briarcliff.
Okay,
that's kind of the only one scrolling quickly through that's noticeable. So maybe they're trying to make a bigger splash, but it was fine. It was like 3-star. It's how everyone says, like, Joker is just Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. Like, Magazine Dreams is just Taxi Driver and Joker. Like, it's just another one of those same shit.
Magazine Dreams is?
Yeah, it's just a bodybuilder that goes crazy.
Oh, okay. I didn't had no idea it was like that. Fair enough.
But yeah, it's whatever.
Whatever. I'll forget about it tomorrow. We got a first look at the Russo brothers, The Electric State, starring Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Anthony Mackie, Brian Cox, Woody Harrelson, Giancarlo Esposito, and Ke Huy Quan. So this is based on a 2018 dystopian science fiction illustrated novel, which depicts an alternate reality of the year 1997 in which a teenage girl and her toy robot journey through a technologically ravaged southwestern United States. So this looks so trash. However, I want you guys to just Google the Electric State novel fan art and look at some of these concept art pictures. Like this,
I've seen it. Someone tweeted these.
This could be a fucking horror movie. Why?
And then you look at these images, like that picture of Millie Bobby Brown, where you can't tell if she's like in front or behind or like next to that thing.
Really why does this look like it's going to turn out to be a comedy when this looks like it should be a fucking horror movie?
Yeah, I saw that online. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Yeah.
Like some of these are. What the fuck?
That's cool as shit, though.
I love some of the images I saw on Twitter were like from like the trailer were like, I can't tell if this thing's supposed to be standing in front of them, behind them, beside them. Like it's just so ugly, man. The Russo brothers, really I don't even know. Like they're so washed at this point. Like I still genuinely believe that their MCU movies are amongst the best of the MCU. But then they just fallen off a complete cliff. And even when you give them a stacked cast like the Gray Man, still ass. And then now you're at the point where you're not really getting stacked casts. You're getting known casts, not stacked casts in terms of talent. And
John Carlo seems to be in a lot of bad shit, doesn't he? I feel like.
I mean, all these guys, like Woody Harrelson's in a ton of ass shit.
Yeah, true.
Brian Cox in his older, like now, like post Succession, he seems to just be bag chasing. Which
same with Ke Huy Quan won an Oscar and now is just bag chasing. Like
he just wants to act. He just wants to like go some like mad shit, you know?
Yeah,
insane. Like
what was Giancarlo in this year that was shit? I'm trying to remember.
Megalopolis.
Let's calm down.
Got his ass.
No. It was something else. What was it? Oh, Maxine. He was in Maxine.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, this is a Netflix movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Russo brothers, Millie Bobby Brown for sure.
Yeah,
Millie Bobby
Brown's like the Netflix. She's
when does her contract end? She's probably on like movie 12 of like a
2079 or some shit. Like she's locked in there for life.
Crazy. It'll be like whenever Seinfeld is done with a contract on like Hulu, then they like Netflix buys like their library for like $800 million for 5 years. There's like Millie Bobby Brown's about to be a free agent. Like Hulu and HBO Max are going to be bidding like who gets Millie Bobby Brown for the next 20 years. Sure. And 50 original movies now. But yeah, movies gonna be ass.
200 original films. Mm-hmm. Jesus. I look forward to that.
All right. So we also, exciting news. This is one I wish Cam was here for. So we got news of the dynamic duo, which is a Robin's origin story, which is in the works at DC Studios, which will be in James Gunn's DCU. This follows Dick Grayson, and it follows Jason Todd as orphan thieves who call themselves the Dynamic Duo. It is being produced by Matt Reeves and James Gunn. It's not set in Matt Reeves's DC universe. It is just produced by him. It will be set in James Gunn's DC universe. And it'll be a cross between CGI animation, stop motion, and live action real-time performances. This is exciting. We haven't gotten necessarily a fantastic iteration of Jason Todd and Dick Grayson in live action. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Titans. It's a show that is generally not well received. I like it, and I think they're perfectly fine iterations of these characters. But I'm excited for this is big news. This is huge news, which I'm sure you guys were able to grasp from everyone's reaction on Twitter and TikTok. But this is kind of the big news everyone was waiting for, because we knew that The Brave and the Bold was going to come out. So we knew Robin was going to be in the mix. But now we finally have confirmation that it's going to be, we're going to get an origin story on Jason Todd and Dick Grayson. I think this is exciting. This is now probably the most excited DCU project I am looking forward to, even on top of Superman Legacy and The Brave and the Bold.
Wait, always film.
I believe so.
Yeah, animated movie.
Okay, yeah, movie. But yeah, I've been looking for Jason Todd and Dick Grayson to be done well in film for such a long time. No one I trust more right now than Matt Reeves and James Gunn to do that for me. So I'm very excited about that. Daniel Day-Lewis is officially ending his retirement from acting after 7 years, and he will be the lead in his son's directorial debut, Anemone, which he co-wrote. Everyone was happy about this on Twitter. I held my tongue because I didn't want to ruin people's excitement. Don't do this, Daniel Day. I'm fucking begging you. I know you're a talented guy. No chance your son knows what he's doing. I don't buy this outside of nepotism one bit. And I don't want this to be his official last outing as an actor.
I think it's kind of cool though, because his son. No, because it's the whole thing where it's
stop
doing it for his son. It's his last go.
No
at
way.
It. I think that's cool.
No way.
I was definitely less excited when I found out it's his son.
It was his son.
Yeah, I was for sure. Much. My excitement went from 100 out of 100 to maybe a 24 out of 100 when I found out it was his son. This is, if it wasn't Daniel Day-Lewis and this was any other person coming out of retirement to just do a movie for his son, that person would be getting shit on left and right for making a bad decision. I don't like this. This is going to scream nepotism.
Daniel Day-Lewis is a nepo baby, though. That guy is the nepo.
But he's good as fuck at what he does. There's just
son is the next.
This is a me problem. I have no faith in Daniel Day-Lewis's son at all. I have zero faith.
Maybe George is what you know. Maybe Daniel Day-Lewis, right, is probably the most talented nepo baby ever. Maybe his son is the most talented nepo baby ever, and then it's an ongoing generation. His son might be the next M. Night Shyamalan. That's what we have to talk about, yeah. Or
right. But also my thing is, dude, Daniel Day-Lewis has done 9 movies in the last 30 years. He is the most selective actor ever. And all it took No, but I'm saying this as a derogatory way. It took his son just handing him a script and saying, "Hey, this shit probably sucks, but if your name is attached to it, people will watch it at least."
I'll watch it. Yeah,
sure. I'll watch it. Obviously, Scream 7 will be released February 27, 2026. Neve Campbell is the only confirmed return as Sidney Prescott. Yeah. Obviously Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega I don't think are going to be returning. I will not be watching Scream 7. Obviously the treatment of 7. The treatment of Melissa and Jenna was just so poor. And the fact that they're moving forward with the same continuity just without their 2 main characters, kind of trash.
And the ending shot of Scream 6 is like kind of like a perfect way to end it. So like if you want to, it was just Melissa Barrera picking up the Scream mask, and like you're like, oh shit, it's her turn to shine.
Yeah,
which of course could turn into Scream 7 being her being the ghost face. Or still grapple with that, but I still think it was like a perfect spot. So no need for Scream 7.
Yeah, it's whatever. And then last but not least, news wise, Green Mile, Shawshank Redemption filmmaker Frank Darabont is coming out of retirement to direct a few episodes of season 5 of Stranger Things. When asked why, his response essentially was because the show bangs. So this is awesome. He hasn't done a movie since 2007, which was The Mist. That was the last time he wrote. And is it Mist or The Mist?
The Mist.
I don't care. Either way, that was the last time he wrote or directed a film. He wrote and directed a couple of episodes of The Walking Dead back in 2011. And then he also wrote and directed a few episodes of Mob City, which was the short-lived gangster drama series back in like 2013. So he's been MIA for 11 years, just kind of chilling. But Stranger Things got him out. I'm hoping this isn't like 11 years out of the game. He's actually washed. I'm hoping this is like damn, he still has sauce. Like he still got it like that. But it's exciting. It's exciting to have like a massive name like that attached to,
have
me
you
personally. Yeah, I was about to say one of my favorite shows ever. Yeah, all of it. I love Stranger Things. I think season 1 of Stranger Things is the best, and I think it's such a good season of television.
I think it has one of the best intros ever.
Yeah,
I love the intro to it. It's really great. I watched the first season. I really liked it. I just didn't continue it, but I really liked it. It was cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah. But all right, I mean that wraps up our news section. Do we want to keep this a short episode, or do we want to do a quick draft of comic book movie castings, or do we want to save that for when Cam is back?
No, let's do a quick little draft.
Let's do a draft.
I'm down. I'm down to do a quick little draft. So we're doing again in honor of Joker Folie à Deux. A lot of people, debate where Joaquin Phoenix lands as like a comic book casting in terms of their ranking. Excuse me. Holy fuck.
What just happened? That was crazy.
Dude, that like hurt. That felt like someone like took sandpaper to my esophagus.
Oh, nice.
That was funny.
That like really hurt. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, Jesus, fuck me. My bad, guys. That like genuinely like left a little tickle in my throat. We're gonna do comic book movie castings. Seth got first pick. He's gonna take Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, obviously. So you could just type. I don't know. Probably.
Am I?
Are you not?
Yeah, I am going to do it. So, I can't think of any others that I love more. Yeah, go on, do that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
I will go with. I mean, why not? We'll go Heath Ledger.
Fuck.
Like if you can get him in the anywhere other than the one spot, it's a win. George.
Fuck, man.
You get back to back. There's a lot you love on here. I'm looking through.
There's a lot I love. There's a lot I love. There are certain ones I just want on my board. I am going to take Hugh Jackman as Logan to begin with. I think that's got to be. I think Heath and Hugh in their respective characters. That's 1 and 2 personally. Next, are we doing voice acting?
Yeah. Are you going to say Kevin Conroy for Batman?
I was going to say Mark Hamill for Joker.
Oh, okay.
So if we're doing voice acting, I'd like to take Mark Hamill as the Joker, please, and thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, back to me now. I'm going to go with. We'll go.
Don't do it, Tyler.
I don't think I'm going for who you want.
I don't even know who
Let
you
me just
want.
make sure I got this right.
No one's going to take this one yet.
Yeah, I'm going to go J.K. Simmons.
No way!
As Jake
Wow. Wow.
Oh, as if you actually went for it. Shit.
That's a pull.
Had to be done. There's so many great castings from.
I was like, oh, you're not actually going to take that on fucking second.
That's so fucking fun.
That's like that might be my number 1, honestly.
Yeah.
I love that one so much.
That is jokes.
All right, I'll go Willem Dafoe for the Green Goblin.
That would have been. I was going to say, when are you taking that?
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Did they have to? Does it have to be a comic book movie? As in, do they have to derive from some original material? Or
I was thinking that too for James McAvoy, but I'll say no for this draft. We'll go as true.
I think yes.
So what, you're going to go split?
It has to come. It has to be adapted.
I think it should be adaptive in my head.
Yeah. It should. It should.
Okay.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I would have picked James McAvoy as Kevin.
I was going to say like Bruce Willis, but then I'm like,
right, exactly. Yeah.
No.
All right, I'll go. Difficult one. I have no idea. I'll go. I know most people are going to be annoyed at not seeing a certain man made of iron in this straight away, but I'll probably go with. You know what? I'm actually going to go with Robert Pattinson for the Batman. I think he's perfect.
Wow. Nice. Okay.
Bobby Pats.
Where do we go here?
You tell me, man.
I mean, there's a couple that just feel obvious, and there's a couple more that are just more fun, but yeah, whatever. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. We'll get him on here.
Yeah, so
actually, no, Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom.
It's not funny, dude. I don't find you funny.
George.
Okay, next. I am going to take Mr. Jackie Earl Haley as Rorschach from Zack Snyder's Watchmen. That is a perfect casting. That's crazy. I've told you to watch Watchmen so many times, dude.
Maybe I will this weekend, you know? Yeah, I will.
It's like you don't even care about your boys' recommendations.
True.
You know? I'm just trying to help you in your movie career. Let's see. Yeah, give me Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne Batman. I feel like you just kind of have to have that one on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to. If it got later, I really would have taken that because I do really like his voice work. It's great.
He is fantastic.
Okay. Where do we go now? Do we go The Rock as Black Adam?
True. No, dude. You go Ezra Miller as Flash.
Go Drax. Go
I'm going Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther.
Good pick.
I'll go. Oh shit! Yeah, I'll go. Christopher Reeve as Superman. I really like the original Superman. He's like the Superman when I was growing up, so I'll go with that.
He's not the Superman.
The Superman.
You know,
who's your Superman? What's his name? Henry Middle.
Henry Godel.
Shit. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna stay true. Yeah, I should have taken this earlier. I'll go Alfred Molina as Doc.
I was gonna go that next.
I don't know why I haven't taken him yet. I completely forgot about him.
I was gonna have a next pick. Now I gotta scramble.
Got one more. Yeah, I got one more pick.
Wait, what movie is this? Who's Zordon? Bryan Cranston as Zordon? What movie is this? I'm looking at a list of best comic book casting. I didn't know Bryan Cranston was in it.
Zordon?
Yeah, Zordon.
I don't know what that is.
I don't even know that movie. Zordon movie. Power Rangers.
Power Rangers, yeah.
Nice.
Dude, superhero movie. Do you see his makeup in this one?
Yeah, that's why. Like, you'd never know it's Bryan Cranston. I guess you can see
what the fuck is that? He looks like the guy at the start of Prometheus.
Yeah, he looks like the engineer. That's crazy.
Holy
I need to watch that film. What the fuck? Okay.
Damn, I really don't know where to go next, but
I feel like we don't have to watch Power Rangers, you know?
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That is a respectable W.
Who is? I mean, trying to think who has played live action Harley Quinn other than Margot Robbie and Lady Gaga. Because I'm trying to think like the earlier Batmans didn't have a Harley Quinn, did they?
No.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
That's it, baby.
What's your final pick going to be?
What's my final pick going to be? I did
Ruffalo.
not. Can I take? Oh fuck!
No.
I want to take two people that have played the same character in the same universe.
No.
Why?
What do you mean? Why? You got to take two different people.
Yeah, well, let me
just take Eric Banner for Hulk and get on with it, man. Jesus
no,
Christ.
I want James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
I was going to say Patrick Stewart. I think is like one that should be picked. So if you're going to pick one, pick him.
Yeah. All right, I'll go Patrick Stewart for Professor X. Can you just in parentheses also put James McAvoy? Just toss that in parentheses.
No.
Just so I could have both.
Oh, by the way, I meant take Robert Pattinson and Bale as Batman, so you can put them in parentheses.
And Keaton, and just throw them all in there.
And Affleck,
not Clooney.
Hey, let's not disrespect Clooney now. Let's not disrespect Clooney. I like
Keanu Reeves going snubbed as John Constantine is crazy. That
was your job and your job.
Yeah, that's a crazy fumble on my part. But all right, Seth took Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, Robert Pattinson's not as good as Christian Bale for Batman, Christopher Reeves less than Henry Cavill as Superman, and Alfred Molina kind of goated as Doc Ock.
Tyler took Alfred Molina.
What did I say? Molina. Tyler took Heath Goat Ledger as the Joker, J.K. Simmons as Jane Jonah Godeson, Robert Downey Jr. as the Iron Boy, Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. That was a bad Harley Quinn.
This is like brain rot, right?
My bad. And I took Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine, Mark Hamill as the second best Joker, Jackie Earl Haley as Rorschach. Seth, watch Watchmen.
Okay.
Tyler, rewatch Watchmen and raise that 3.5, please. Kevin Conroy as Batman, maybe the best voice performance of all time behind Joker. And then Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy as Professor X.
This Rorschach looks cool, you know. Is he even another film? I don't know. I haven't realized.
No.
Yeah, he does look kind of cool, actually. Maybe Rorschach. Maybe I need to watch it.
Yeah, dude, he's sick.
He does look kind of cool.
You're not locked in here with me. No. I'm not locked in here with you. Yeah. You're locked in here with me. But all right, that'll wrap up our episode. Sub 2-hour episode. Kind of crazy. I feel like we haven't done that in a while. But yeah, Joker 2 review, some news, fun draft, hanging out with the brothers. As always, shout out to the executive producers, Sean Morales, Stefan Johnson, and Stefan Niebrick. Shout out to all our patrons. And for anyone who's not a patron, take a look at the description below. Go take a look at our tiers. We are dropping a patron exclusive review of De Palma's Carlito's Way, starring Al Pacino, in 4 days on Friday. And then on Thursday, we will be dropping a draft of our favorite non-A-list actors. That will be accessible for everyone, but Carlito's Way for patrons only. That wraps up Real Talk episode 109. We will see you all in a couple of days.
Peace.